You know what? I think I gave up too quickly. So in 2023, I was interested in candle making. I'd seen some videos about it. I really like candles, so I just thought, you know what, why not consider making them and maybe make a brand out of them and maybe sell them. So I bought a candle making kit on Amazon just to get me started, and I actually enjoyed the experience of making one. And I was able to buy everything I needed in order to create candles and do the branding and then sell them off. And I did put some up for sale and did get a few customers. It was great. However, about that time, I was having a lot of life changes. So I was about to get married and move countries. And yeah, packing and all that was overwhelming for me. What that meant with that, though, was that the candle making business kind of just got forgotten or kind of left because I was packing. I had to get rid of a lot of things because I was moving and not just moving, but moving countries. So I had limited luggage allowance that I could take along with me to the new country. And so in just putting everything together, I kind of put the candle making stuff aside and I thought, I can always come back to it. But things like that, many times we don't end up coming back to. We kind of just leave it. Other things come in the play and just forget about it. But then I saw this video by Simon Squibb. He was interviewing somebody else who had created a business from candle making. And as she was talking, I just kept thinking, this was my idea. Like, I had started on this in 2023. I'd actually made a few sales, even done the branding and everything, but I didn't continue with it because just everything going on. But besides the issues of just packing and all that, there was also the fact that I probably learned, like, watched a lot of videos to learn a lot about the business, but didn't spend enough time implementing. That was the first thing. The second thing was I thought I wouldn't know how to reach out to people and do the marketing for the candles such that it would be something that could get a lot of people buying from me, and that would make, a good, decent amount of money as a business. Another thing I struggled with as well was wondering whether the price point at which I would be able to sell them would make sense for me in the long run. Would I be able to sell enough such that I would make enough money to make the business viable? These are all questions that went through my mind. And after a while, I just thought, you know what? Let me just leave it for now. Maybe I'll come back to it later. And later became never. But having said that, there is a silver lining in this. Thinking and reflecting on this experience made me realize that, okay, yes, I had kind of just left it by the wayside, but maybe it was a good way for me to realize the gaps in my knowledge as a business person. Some of it was in sales, some of it in pricing, some of it in the branding of the candles such that I could make them more valuable than their intrinsic value. There was that. But another thing which I saw from that video with Simon Squibb was the fact that this person that he was interviewing, she started running workshops. So she did a few pop-up events. She also had a stall at her local gym. And then she did a collaboration event, I think possibly with a spa, where she then offered candle making classes. And she found she really enjoyed that. Not just that, the margins on that were higher, which then meant that she made more money from that than actually making the candles. And so she pivoted a little bit and started focusing on teaching and running candle making workshops. That all went great for her, but then it got me thinking as well. I really do enjoy teaching, and it would have actually been great to be able to teach people the skill of candle making and even maybe create my own candle making um, kits like I used when I was starting to help other people, get into it if they were so willing to do so. But in thinking about that, I just realized that, okay, you know what? Yes, things may not quite have gone the way I planned, but it's for me not to forget, basically, and not to despise the days of little beginnings. So for the next business I want to start, I need to make sure that I put things in place such that I'm not discouraged, such that I plan for marketing and sales and a distribution pipeline for it. And then also just have a little more belief that it can actually work. I think that would have been the biggest thing there. But granted, I can give myself grace because there was so much going on in my life that it was not the thing to focus on at that point. But maybe now it can be. All right, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.